Everyone in Ojodu knew the sound of Kola's clippers. The buzzing filled the narrow street where his small barbershop sat. Just opposite the community well, beside Mama Titi's Akara stand. Kola was a man of few words but strong hands. He was dark-skinned, with low-cut hair, trimmed beard, and a stare that could melt ice. The women noticed him. They always did, but Kola kept to himself. Until Fatima. Fatima was known too. Fair-skinned, soft-spoken, and married to Alhaji Musa, a man 15 years her senior. Alhaji owned 3 shops in the market and traveled often. Fatima was his second wife, young and quiet, living in a well-painted bungalow on Ojodu Road. People called her respectful, beautiful, bored. It started small. She came once to shave her little boy's hair. Kola was gentle, careful, and respectful. The second time, she brought the boy again, but lingered longer. The third time, the boy was nowhere to be seen. She smiled and said, "I came to ask about the oil you used. It smells so nice." That day, Kola offered her a chair and poured her zobo. From then, it became routine. Once a week, then twice. She would sit quietly, pretending to scroll on her phone while Kola worked. They laughed sometimes, talked about the news, about the weather, about music. But their eyes did most of the talking, and people noticed. "Why is Fatima always in the barber's shop?" Mama Titi asked one afternoon, shaking her oily hands. "Don't she have a husband?" Even Kola's cousin Taye, who sometimes helped sweep the shop, whispered, "That woman could cause wahala, brother." But Kola said nothing. Fatima smiled more. One evening, it rained. Heavy clouds, empty streets. Thunder grumbled across the sky. Fatima stood under the small wooden shelter in front of the barbershop, clutching her scarf. "You'll get wet," Kola said, pulling the curtain aside. "Come inside." Inside smelled of hair cream, aftershave, and something deeper. Tension. She shook the rain off her wrapper and laughed. He handed her a towel. She sat in the barber's chair, spinning slowly. "Give me a line," she joked. "Let me go home looking fresh." He chuckled and stepped behind her. Their eyes met in the mirror. She didn't flinch when his fingers brushed her temples. That night, everything changed. The rain drummed louder as Kola's fingers lingered on her nape. He wasn't smiling anymore. She wasn't blinking. Their breath slowed. Then, he leaned down. She didn't stop him. She tilted her chin. Their lips met, soft at first, then hungry. Kola pulled her gently from the chair, her wrapper brushing the floor. She gasped, but not in fear. He lifted her onto the bench by the back wall. Their mouths never parted. His hands searched her curves, the folds of her waist, the softness of her thighs. She tugged at his shirt, feeling his chest rise and fall. It was wrong. Everything about it was wrong, but it felt like life after months of silence. "Tell me to stop," he whispered. "I can't," she breathed, already undoing the buttons of her blouse. Their bodies collided like thunder and storm, passionate, urgent, beautiful. She held his back. He kissed her neck, her chest, her soul. They moved together like they had waited a lifetime. By the time the rain stopped, clothes were scattered and hearts were open. Afterwards, she lay against his chest, the sound of the clippers still humming somewhere in the background. "I should go," she said softly. I know. But she didn't move, and neither did he. The next day, Ojodu buzzed. Did you see Fatima leaving Kola's shop late at night? She came home after 10. I heard Alhaji is furious. Rumors flew faster than the flies on ripe pawpaw. Someone said they saw her adjusting her wrapper outside. Another swore Kola was smiling too much lately. A week passed. Fatima stayed indoors. But Kola? He waited. Then she came back. I couldn't sleep, she whispered. And it continued. At night, in the back of the barbershop, in the corner by the curtain, her scarf always falling, his shirt always on the floor, kisses deep, movements slow, words few, but the fire between them grew. He made her laugh again. She made him feel alive. They spoke about running away, about getting a small house by the river, about opening a second barbershop in Ibadan. Dreams wrapped in sheets and sweat, but reality always waited outside. Alhaji Musa noticed. He confronted her. You think I'm a fool? He barked, veins thick on his forehead. I'm just tired, Musa. I'm not doing anything, she said, eyes lowered. Swear it on your child's life. She couldn't. That night, Alhaji beat her. Not hard, but enough. A slap across the cheek. A shove. The house girl heard everything. The next day, Fatima wore sunglasses to the market. Kola saw her from afar and nearly broke the clippers in his hand. I'll kill him, he muttered. But Fatima begged him, please, don't make this worse. He held her that night, like she would disappear. They made love slowly, gently, like it was goodbye. Then came the worst. She missed her period, once, then twice. Fear swallowed her whole. She couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. Her breasts were sore. Her body changed. I'm pregnant, she told Kola, eyes wide, voice shaking. He sat in silence for a long time. Then he said, is it mine? Yes, she whispered. Musa hasn't touched me in over 2 months. Panic, heat, silence. I'll take responsibility, Kola finally said. We'll figure it out. But the village was already figuring it out. People whispered louder. The mosque elders talked. Her co-wife stared at her belly. The tailor refused to measure her waist. Alhaji summoned the imam. He accused her of adultery. They called a council. The shame was heavy. Fatima cried in her room, hugging a pillow. Kola tried to speak, but was told to stay out of it. He was the devil, the destroyer of a home. The council gave Alhaji a choice: divorce or disgrace. He chose divorce. Fatima packed her bags with trembling hands. She left the house with nothing but her son, a small bag, and the baby growing inside her. She went to Kola. He opened the door without a word. She dropped the bag. He touched her face gently, then knelt before her and kissed her stomach. I'm not rich, he said, but I'll love you. All of you. She burst into tears. Months passed. The village moved on, but not really. Some still spat when she passed. Others smiled secretly, remembering what it felt like to love wrongly but deeply. Fatima gave birth to a baby girl. She named her Oluwadamilola. The Lord has blessed me with wealth. Kola built an extension at the back of the shop. They moved in. They didn't have much, but they had love. Sometimes painful, sometimes shameful, but always real. And when Fatima sat outside braiding her daughter's hair and Kola swept his barbershop floor with his baby tied to his chest, people still whispered. But she smiled, because now she didn't care.